This is my 11th year as a fashion photographer. 11th year as a professional fashion photographer. Let's not count those years when we were experimenting, trying to figure everything out. So we're going to say 11 years. I came from an area where fashion photography was non-existent. You know, I had to travel 14 hours from Atlanta, Georgia to New York City every month. On paper, I'm self-taught, but I like to think of myself as trained by my personal favorites, my legendary Hillman Newton, of course Stephen Massell, and Peter Limberg has taught me my black and white style. Cinematographers like Hype Williams, who was able to take the urban element and make it something beautiful, fashionable, and artistic. I throw in my own unique style with it, which is inspired by different spiritual elements, different cultural elements. Being the fact that I saw a hole in the industry where I did not feel as though women of color were being represented in a high class element. I knew that I could change that. I knew that it was my purpose to change that. I didn't want to sit around and just be like a lot of people complaining like, oh, there are not enough, you know, jobs for blacks in the industry. Create them. For 11 years now, I have been trying to find that one team that just falls in sync with me. And it's an ongoing process. It's extremely important that as you grow and your expectations for yourself elevate, those expectations also have to arise in your team as well. Everybody has to be hungry for that success on the same level as you. No days off for everybody. I used to say that I was based in Brooklyn, New York because that's where my studio was. My dear friend and business partner and associate, Busy Moore, told me, he was like, brother, you're not New York based. He was like, you are genuinely international. I did not listen to some people who cared dearly about me, who thought that I should go get a real job. I actually stuck to my guns when it came to photography. I did not have a safety net. I did not have a 9-to-5 check to depend on. I knew I had to do this. And when you take out the option to depend upon that 9-to-5 check, then you will see exactly what you're made of. Because guess what? If you don't book a job, you don't eat. And it was just that simple. We live in a global society now. Those old borders and those old boundaries are completely gone now. The market is wide open. Without a doubt, all of my resources are already being targeted towards building up several studios throughout the continent of Africa and encouraging publications to come out there, building new publications, new outlets, new platforms throughout the entire continent of Africa. You have some of the greatest designers of our time who went to Africa, traveled there to get inspired, from Roberto Cavalli to John Galliano. They got their inspiration from ancient and modern day Africa. Scorpio is a sign of death and rebirth, so it's really big on that. So every October, I like to recreate my brand. And currently with this season, I have model Jeremy Goring, who I've been developing. Fantastic male model who is actually a black male model with actual facial hair. So just play with it, like action movements, all right? I love my models in black. I like that dark goddess element. I like what I call man-eaters. I like a model that looks like she eats souls. My male models, I like them to look like Heru. I like them to look like God. That's who we are. Whereas a lot of photographers tend to stray more towards the females, I believe in authentic union. Okay, I believe God is masculine and feminine, all in one. So I like to represent both equally. I wear black for power. I wear black for pride. I wear black for identity. When you see that gentleman that has on all black with the locks and the beard, you're gonna know that that's Shamayim. Black to me is just a representation of so many subliminal things and so many of the notions that I am trying to present within my photography. I believe what the old school says, get it in your camera. I feel like images that are over-retouched have no soul. Women, men, we have pores. we have definitions in our skins. We have contours, we have cheekbones and things like that. So when you have that over-retouched vibe, and it just makes the model flat, he or she loses their soul. I like to give the opportunity to up-and-coming aspiring fashion photographers as much as possible. I believe that's the only way that we can genuinely grow. There's an assistant out there with this long pole and the octobox and just one light, because you're still mimicking the sun. That's the original source of light, at least on our planet. One of the things that I appreciate with the group Roll With Us is the fact that they took their passion and they took it around the world. And I can relate with that because I've done the same thing. It's like I picked up my camera and I let it take me to every country and every continent that I wanted to go to, just like the production team Roll With Us does. So I feel blessed that they even chose to come into the temple today to meet with me and my team members and for us to collaborate and create something beautiful. And all those out there who would love to follow their hearts and follow their souls, they just probably haven't found the courage to do it yet and become legendary.